I really enjoyed the first two Descendants films. Now, what about the third one? I actually liked it a whole lot, and you're gonna find out why as I give you a full length re-review of Disney's Descendants 3 after it has been close to 5 years since it was released. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a re-review of the 2019 musical fantasy coming-of-age flick Descendants 3. Disney's Descendants 3, that is. Originally premiering on Disney Channel on August 2nd, 2019, and the last one, the film trilogy, focusing on Mel and her friends. One, once again, written by Sarah Perriott and Jason McGibbon, and once again directed by Kenny Ortega. This was a big one, what have you. Now, before I go ahead and get started, I'll let you give a give yourself a chance to see my re-review of the second film if you haven't seen it yet. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the re-review of the first film, so go ahead and check out my re-review of the second film before going to this one if you haven't seen it that one yet, just in case you might have missed it or if you want to see it again. Okay, now before I get started, one thing I forgot to mention in my review of Descendants 2 was the addition of Anna Cathcart as Dizzy Tremaine. I have to admit she's really good, and I liked her. But I'll get more. But I'll make up for time about her later on in this video. Okay. All right, that about covers it. Let's begin the story. Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos visit the Isle of the Lost to choose four new VKs, that's villain kids, to take to Oregon. They pick Dizzy, granddaughter of Lady Tremaine, Celia, daughter of Dr. Facilier, the villain of The Princess and the Frog, and Squeaky and Squirmy, the twin sons of Mr. Smee. As the older VKs return to Oregon, Hades attempts to break through the Isle's barrier, but Mal stops him. The day the kids are to be picked up, Ben, Mal's boyfriend and the king of Oregon, proposes to her. Mal accepts. Ben's ex-girlfriend, Audrey, sees with jealousy, and her grandmother, Queen Lee, admonishes her for failing to secure the family legacy by marrying Ben. Unable to let go of her resentment of Mal, Audrey steals the Queen's crown and Maleficent's scepter from the museum, gaining magical powers and becoming a villain, thus giving birth to, as I like to refer to as, Dark Audrey. Following the theft and Hades' escape attempt, Mal suggests that the best way to protect Oregon is to close the Isle's barrier permanently. Audrey curses Mal with Maleficent's scepter as have an old lady like the wicked queen Evie's mother did in what looked like as with the poison apples in Snow White. Well, so she and the other VKs go to the Isle to get Hades' Ember, the only powerful artifact that's powerful enough to break the scepter's curse. Upon entering the Isle, Mal is freed of the curse and Celia gets her into Hades' lair, but Hades thwarts their effort to steal the Ember. He is revealed to be Mal's absentee father and reluctantly gives her the Ember, warning her to avoid it getting wet as it will not exhibit its powers for her, and that since she is only half Hades. I got you there. It may not do everything for her that it does for him. While leaving the Isle, Mal and the others are intercepted by Uma, Gil, and Harry, who agree to help after Mal falsely agrees to release all the children from the Isle. Meanwhile, in Oregon, Audrey attacks Jane's birthday party with a sleeping curse. Chad aligns himself with her, while Jane escapes into the Enchanted Lake. As the entire kingdom falls under Audrey's spell, she offers to reverse it if Ben will marry her. However, he refuses, prompting Audrey to turn into a beast, and she begins turning people to stone. Mal and Uma, vying for the leadership of the VKs, return to Auradon with their friends. Despite their conflict, they eventually work together to find and defeat Audrey. After finding Ben in beast form, Carlos calms him after removing a splinter from his hand, while Jane partially restores him to human form with the enchanted lake water. At Evie's house, Mal and Uma make amends while Evie wakes Doug with true love's kiss. Audrey traps them in the house, but they are able to reverse Audrey's spell by combining their magic, and they and their other friends reunite. At the fairy cottage, they find only a shell-shocked Chad. When Mal admits her plan to seal off the isle permanently, the group breaks apart, and Celia, learning she can never see her father again, drops the ember in water. After Evie confronts Mal for lying to her and friends, they are all suddenly turned into stone, save for Mal. Well, yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and go to the final act and ending. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid ending spoilers. Now, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Audrey takes Celia hostage and attacks Mal, who turns into her dragon form. Realizing she is Mal's only hope, Uma combines their magic to reignite the ember. Mal defeats Audrey, who falls comatose, and the curses are lifted. Mal and her friends reconcile, and she convinces Hades to use the ember to revive Audrey. Hades does so, but decries the double standard by which Audrey is immediately forgiven for her crimes as she is not considered a villain. Audrey awakens and she, Mal, and Ben make amends. Changing her mind, Mal tells Ben that she cannot become Queen of Auradon unless she can help the Isle as well. With Ben and Fairy Godmother's approval, Mal replaces the Isle's barrier with a bridge, and the people of the newly merged society celebrate. In the end, Evie is with Doug, Carlos is with Jane, Mal and Ben are engaged, Jay and Gil plan to travel the world together, and Audrey seems to be romantically attached to Harry after Uma rejects him. That's the end for realsies in the story. But in a mid-credit scene, Mal, Evie, Jay, and Carlos race across the bridge to the Isle to reunite with their parents. And that's in the story. So, what did I think of Descendants 3? I love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. You be the judge on where you place this, okay? But I watched this just almost as much as I did with the first two films. I watched it like 3 times after it premiered. Because I couldn't resist it. Because some of it kind of made me laugh, which I kind of didn't mean to. Especially once they defeat Dark Audrey in some parts. Boy, yeah. Which again, as I said, I didn't mean to laugh when she just like gives a scream once after she's defeated and what have you. But I couldn't help it, okay? Please, don't hate me for that. Even so, the film sets at 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, which that's good. Actually, Dove Cameron even won a Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Movie Actress in the film. The soundtrack, which was released, well, it did fine. It opened one spot lower than the soundtrack to the previous attempt, coming at number 7. But however, it did go to number 1 on the Billboard Kids Albums chart. It did have a minor hit with the when with Dark Audrey's song "The Queen of Mean." It reached number 49 on Billboard Hot 100, even made it to number 57 on the Canadian Hot 100 and number 89 on the UK Singles Chart. It was the longest charting Descendants song to this day, spending over 8 consecutive weeks in the Billboard Hot 100. Now, for its soundtrack, I am going to say it was really something. The Queen of Mean is definitely a good song. But this had a lot of other good songs. Good to Be Bad, which it was the first song you hear. You get to hear Do What You Gotta Do, which that was pretty good between Dove Cameron and Cheyenne Jackson, who plays Hades. I'll get to him in a moment. And then there's Night Falls, where the gang's facing off these here possessed suits of armor, which the Dark Audrey creates, and once she defeats, they're all defeated, that's when Dark Audrey is a loud screech, and that's when I laugh. But again, I couldn't help it. Okay. Yeah, this. Yeah, One Kiss. That's a good song. So anyway, um, yeah. So Descendants 3 eventually has a good soundtrack and a good score, once again composed by David Lawrence. I must say it was really good. A week after it was a week after its premiere, not a week. I mean 4 days after it premiered. My apologies. It got released on physical media. You can also and of course now you can find the film on Disney Plus. But anyway, Descendants 3 is definitely a good film in my book because I really did enjoy watching it. Now, of course, before it even premiered, Disney had canceled a red carpet premiere in the wake of the death of Cameron Boyce. The film's television premiere went on a schedule dedicated in his memory. Yes, he passed away just right after the film had finished filming. But still, I have to give him credit for what he had to offer in his final performance as Carlos. Definitely good. For the rest, Dove Cameron's still good as Mal. She's still very good. Sophia Carson, once again good as Evie, and Boo Boo Stewart, once again good as Jay. Mitchell Hope is back as Ben. He's really good. Sarah Jeffrey returns as Audrey after being absent from the previous film. Brenna D'Amico returns as Jane, and I'm going to say this is probably one of her best performances. Melanie Paxton's back as Fairy Godmother. Of course, I just found she's one of the only 2 stars from this trilogy that's going to return the brand new film that's coming up tomorrow on Disney Plus. Thomas Doherty returns as Harry, and Dylan Playfair returns as Gil. Zachary Gibson returns as Doug. He's still good. They're all pretty good. Jedediah Goodacre once again returns as Chad. And Anna Cathcart returns as Dizzy. And I'm going to say she's good as well. Which, of course, this was just after she had recently appeared in To All the Boys I've Loved Before on Netflix that same year, as a matter of fact. Yeah. We have Jaya Marie as Celia. She's good. Dan Payne and Keegan Connor Tracy once again return as Beast and Belle. Bobby Moynihan once again returns to do the voice of Dude, Carlos' dog. And Cheyenne McClain returns as Uma. Cheyenne Jackson's role as Hades, though, I'm gonna say that was really something. Looks pretty cool, but yeah, he's just one real hothead. Now, Judith Maxey returns as Queen Lee, also after being absent from the previous film. Let's see. We have Christian Convery and Luke Rosler playing Squeaky and Squirmy. Jamal Sims as Dr. Facilier. Linda Coe as Lady Tremaine. And Faustina de Bada as Mr. Smee. Yes. Anyway, I really liked seeing a lot of new characters in here, old and new, and what have you. So, overall, I found Descendants 3 to be just as enjoyable as the first 2 films. Would I recommend it, though? I would say definitely give it a shot. So, anyway, that's going to do for this review. Oh, but wait a minute. As I recall, if you didn't watch my Descendants 2 re-review, you ought to be ashamed, because I clearly said this might be a re-review of Descendants 3, but I would include something extra to go along with. Here it is. Surprise! Now, as a bonus, I'm going to give you a mini review of the 2021 animated special and continuation after this, Descendants: The Royal Wedding. Now, of course, taking place after the events of this, we come to Auradon, but this time in animated form. Well, the big day has finally arrived, and Mal and Bella are about to officially be married. And the whole kingdom of Auradon is excited to attend, but when Hades shows up, things start to veer off course quickly. An accident causes the venue to go up in flames, and Hades flees the scene. So Mal and her fellow VKs follow him with some help from Uma, and eventually find him at his lair and, well, try to convince him to come back. But that's all of this I'm going to tell you. If you really want to know what goes on with this, just we'll see for yourself, okay? I really don't want to give too much of the details and what have you. Now, of course, they've got everyone back and what have you, just most of them. Now, even though we had lost Cameron Boyce already, but however, Carlos was mentioned in the film. But it's a shame we didn't get to see anybody else. Mel, Evie, Jay, Uma, Ben, Audrey, Chad, and Dizzy were the only descendants we got to see. We didn't see anybody else, though. I mean, Carlos was mentioned. We don't see Jane in the film. Well, not the film, but the special. We, uh, same, same thing with Doug. We don't see him or anybody else. Yeah, another thing I forgot to point out that Lonnie from the first two films, Mulan's daughter, is unfortunately not in Descendants 3 or this special either. Nor are the other new descendants from the previous film back. Yeah, it is a shame though. That's kind of my only biggest issue with this film, with this little special and what have you. And well, it's still fine, what have you. And now they do have Melanie Paxton, Dan Payne, Keegan Connor Tracy, and Cheyenne Jackson back in their roles from previous films. But anyway, the Royal Wedding, I think it's pretty colorful nonetheless. But I just wish we could have seen just a little brief cameo or two by some of the other characters, just for fun and what have you. But they don't do it, unfortunately. And I kind of find it to be a little weak and what have you. But I still enjoyed it for what it had to offer, though. So, and it does kind of end in a little something that will lead us into the brand new film that's actually going to be coming up tomorrow, which I am going to do a spoiler-free review of, and now, of course, will be Descendants: The Rise of Red. But what would that be like? Well, I will not tell you that because it's a main review. I won't spoil the rest of that special for you. You're gonna have to watch the special and find out. That special is on Disney Plus, so you can check it out there. So, if you really want to see the big wang after the events of Descendants 3, I'd say you go for it. Alright, now what did you think of Descendants 3? And you can also, well, you can leave a comment for me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, and make the views grow. Oh, you can also leave a comment if you'd like to leave your opinions on Descendants: The Royal Wedding as well. You may also feel free to share my vids with your friends if you wish as well. Join me next time when I give you a spoiler-free review of Descendants: The Rise of Red. I'm looking forward to that. So if you like this, consider checking out some of these other Disney flicks princess type flicks I've reviewed. And the upper left hand corner is my review of The Princess and the Frog, since we get to see Dr. Facilier and his daughter Celia in the film. Or go to the upper right hand corner and see my review of the film with Hades himself, Disney's Hercules. Or if you'd like, since it is in my Descendants playlist, I'll go ahead and include this. Check out my ranking of my favorite Descendants characters. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.